Betway sponsors FROCH versus Groves 2 on Sky Sports.
This is Coogan Cassius for IFL TV in association with Betway. With me I've got trainers Carl Froch, Rob McCracken, MBE. How are you, Rob?
I'm alright, Coog, thanks.
So this is sort of the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
Press conference is about to begin in about half hour. How is Carl last couple of days since the open workout?
Yeah, he's fine, he's trained well, he's trained hard, he's always on the weight. I've heard a couple of stories coming that he looks gaunt, he looks this, he's always on the weight. He doesn't have a problem with the weight, that's why he'll fight hard for 12 rounds Saturday night like he always does.
A lot of questions were left unanswered from the first fight, probably unanswered for you as well. There's the flip side of the situation regarding Carl Froch, whether some people perceive him to have grown old overnight, some people perceive him to have had a bad day at the office. Personally, what do you think? I think
the latter bad day at the office, I think Groves was better than people thought he was, and Carl was as sloppy as I've seen him in his career. Difficult night, but his experience came through, and he proved too strong for him in the end. And there was 2 minutes left in round 9. The fight was getting stopped. Whether Howard Foster stepped in then or in 20 seconds, 30 seconds later, the fight was getting stopped. That's it.
Would you say that was Carl's worst performance of his career?
Yeah, I'd say it was. And then is that unfair on Groves? Because people will say, well, Groves was very good on the night, and he was. But it's a 12-round fight, and Carl weathered the storm, got a foothold in the fight, and started to come back into it strongly, and it culminated in a slightly premature stoppage without a doubt, but Howard Foster's a tremendous referee, and he just saw it and did what he thought was right at the time. But if you look at the position Groves was in and the position Carl was in at the time, and Carl coming on the way he was, there's only going to be one winner from that point.
Are we kind of to expect a similar fight to the first one, or could it be completely different?
I think Groves will box more. I think he'll box and move, and I think he'll look to try and nail Carl if Carl holds his feet. I think that's exactly what he'll do. I think that's what their tactics are. I think that's what they've trained for, to box and move, and then try and unload on Carl whenever he sits still, and win the battle of the jab, and try and unload on Carl when he sits still again. And that's what they'll do, and that's what they'll try and do.
It was, in some people's eyes, hailed as George's best ever performance, even though he lost. Do you think that there could be a better George Groves facing Carl Froch on Saturday?
I'm not sure. Possibly. He's a good fighter. I said he was a good fighter before the first fight. I wasn't one of few. A lot of people knew he was a good fighter. He's a good fighter. He's got good power as well. He's dangerous, and you can't underestimate him. And possibly Carl did in the first one, but he certainly hasn't this time. So Carl will be 100% on Saturday night. Yeah. Difficult opponent, fast, rangy, can punch, but is he strong enough to see through 12 rounds with Carl Froch when Carl Froch has applied himself properly in training and is motivated for the fight?
How motivated was Carl for the first fight compared to now?
I think it's very different. I think he never had the same motivation, and possibly that's because he didn't rate Groves as much as he does as a fighter after the fight. It's just one of those things in boxing. Carl's been at elite level for 6 years. He's been fighting the world's best for 6 years. With the exception of Andre Ward, he's beaten everybody. His career's been unbelievable and remarkable. And to fight at that level, he's in the world's top 10 pound for pound, and albeit on the back still of a real poor performance against Groves, he still won the fight. He was too strong for him in the end. And our job, well, his job, is to not get hit with half the shots he got within the first fight, and to hit Groves with plenty more early on. And the reality is you'll know where both fighters are at Saturday night. Those that say Carl underestimated him, or those that say Carl has been there too long, and those that say Groves is very good, or that Groves was fortunate because Carl wasn't prepared. We'll get to find out all the answers on Saturday night. There's
been a huge emphasis on the mind games, the psychological side of this fight. What do you tell Carl as in regards to things that happened here a couple of months ago with the push, the handshake that when he pulled him across the table? What do you say to him after things like that?
I just think it's always going to be difficult for a fighter who's done and beaten the opponents in the world that Carl has beaten over the years, to be, you know, shown such disrespect by somebody he's given an opportunity to, which is what he did in the first fight. He didn't have to box him at all. He's won 4 world titles. He's a very wealthy man. He can do as he pleases. He doesn't have to box him again. That's the mark of Carl Froch. Carl Froch is a warrior, and those that say that he's been forced into it, he hasn't been forced into anything. Carl Froch can do whatever he pleases. He's achieved everything in the sport already. He's chose to fight him again because he wants to prepare properly and, you know, motivate himself to try and see off a good challenger in George Groves.
We're in Wembley. Can't tell how it's going to be Saturday night because it's completely empty in here. But we're not prepared for what's going to happen Saturday. No one really knows because there hasn't been an event of this magnitude that's happened in this country.
Well, that's the thing, Coogan. You never know in boxing, and there's 80,000 people here, and you know you can ask the pundits here, and one will say Carl's going to win, and one will say Groves is going to win, and you possibly could get that in the crowd on Saturday night. You never know in professional boxing. Anything can happen at any time. It could be a 1-round fight over. It could be a 12-round, you know, boxing match. It could be a 12-round war. You know, you just don't know what's going to happen in professional boxing. Both punch, both good fighters, both extremely dangerous, and you know, we'll experience show on Saturday night with Carl. We think it will.
Just finally, Carl said at the open workout on the mic to Adam Smith that his career and was hanging in the balance, or hanging on a thread rather. Is that how you see this fight for him?
I think, you know, it's funny because, you know, everything's kind of a bonus for Carl the last couple of years because the career he's had and the world title fights he's had is, you know, for a British fighter has been remarkable and unbelievable. But he puts himself under that pressure because he wants to deliver, and he's always done that. And if you go back to his fights, he's kind of always been of that mindset. I have to win. I have to win. He's just competitive and he's a winner. And you know, he wants to win, and normally when he wants to win, he wins.
All right, Rob McCracken, thanks for talking to IFL TV. I understand congratulations are in order.
Thanks, little boy. That's me done.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, that's me. That's me retired now.
Do we have a name?
Emmett.
Emmett.
Yeah.
Emmett Coogan McCracken.
That'll do.
Yeah? It's got a ring to it.
Yeah. Cheers,
all right,
Coog.
listen, best of luck today and weigh-in tomorrow, Saturday night.
You always need a bit of luck in this game.
Always.
Cheers, mate.
Coogan Cassius, Rob McCracken, IFL TV. Thank you very much.
Betway sponsors FROCH vs Groves 2 on Sky Sports.